Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing a card for the Spellbinders Club Kits Hop. I'm going to be playing with 4 of the club kits and making this one card right here using all 4 of those kits. But first we're going to start out with a background. I am using a background that I made after or while making this gel press print. So this is kind of in the middle of the video, but I needed to clean all this extra paint off of my brayer. So I'm going to bring in a plain white sheet of cardstock and clean that off. And that's actually the paper that I'm going to use for today's card. I always keep these papers when I'm cleaning off my brayer because they do make excellent backgrounds. So I'm going to show you this part of the video, even though this print right here that I'm making with this wood grain tool is not actually the print I'm going to use in today's card. I thought it was fun and you could see where the paper I am using came from. So this is just a wood grain texturing tool that I got, I believe, like at Home Depot, or maybe I ordered it online. I've had it for a while and it's pretty fun to play with. My print didn't come out as good as I wanted, but that's because I had a lot of built up paint on that tool because I had already made several prints. You probably can tell from how inky or dirty my fingers are, but still that is a really cool print right there. And I did end up making even more prints. Just it's fun on your gel press just to like keep going and add more paint and pick up what's left over like I'm doing right here. If you are not familiar with gel press printmaking, I have a lot of videos on it. It's really fun to make your own backgrounds, and I will have a link at the end of this video. You can check out my playlist of gel press videos. So next I'm going to add some yellow paint, and I have paint still on the gel press. I have paint still on my brayer, and so I'm going to get some green. There's going to be some color blending here, and I'm going to clean this brayer off on the edge of that blue piece of paper there where you can't really see, but I am going to show you what that paper looks like in just a minute. But before we go, we might as well see what this one looks like too, right? I know you're going to be curious, so we've got to show that. And I'll probably put these in with my stash and use them at some point, which I do in a lot of my videos, pull out a gel press print from my stash. Isn't that cool? Okay, so here's the brayer cleanup paper, as I call it, that I'm going to be using to make today's card. Here is my first club kit I'm pulling out. This is the embossing folder of the month. It's called Faux Stitched. And I cut a piece of paper down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 because I am making an A7 size card. Now what's really fun about gel press prints is I have printed onto a white sheet of paper with acrylic paint on top. So the core of this paper is white. So I brought in a sanding tool and I sand off that top layer of paint, and oh, it looks so cool. I love how this turned out, and it's just a really cool way to use your embossing folders. Okay, here is a look at the large die of the month. This is the Stitched For You die set. There is a large U and then a bunch of other dies to cut out words to go with the word you. So we have 2 from me, birthday, happy, thank, and hello. So the cool thing is that on this U or these letters, you can actually stitch on them. Now you don't have to. You can leave them plain, as I'll show you here. See, those letters have the holes in them. You can leave it just like that, or you can go ahead and stitch it. So I pulled out some green embroidery floss from my stash. I thought it matched the green in my background paper really nicely. I pulled out a strand and I'm going to separate that in half. So I have 3 strands, and I'm leaving 3 strands behind. Now, I am showing you how I tie a knot just by wrapping the thread around the end of the needle 3 times and pulling that through. And then it's time to stitch. So that knot is going to stay there in the middle, and I'm going to go up through the middle and down through the edge, going around kind of in a spiral. So this is a really easy stitching project. If you're not into stitching, you can do this. But if you're like really not into stitching, you don't have to stitch it. You can just glue it down. I think those holes add such pretty detail. Kind of, they look floral or kind of like a doily. So really just do what you know, you feel inspired to do, or maybe you don't feel inspired. So there they are, all stitched and ready to go. So now to stick these down, because they're kind of bumpy on the back, I'm going to use some glue dots, and I'm going to stick a glue dot on the back of every one of those stitched pieces, and then on the other sections I'm going to put some liquid glue, and then I'm really just going to have to press and hold that down to make sure that all the adhesive is touching that shadow layer, which I die cut from white cardstock. And I like to have those 3 colors here on my die cut. I think it's so pretty, but you know, there's so many possibilities of color combinations with this. You can have so much fun with it. And I did die cut those words or letters, U, from an extra piece of that gel press print so that I knew my letters would match my background. Now for the thank, I am using some green cardstock that I felt matched my paper really well. And you can see these are really thin letters. Also, you should note any letters that repeat in that die set, like the H, some of them are larger and some are smaller, so you can't interchange all the letters on that die set. Next, we have the Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the month. This is the stitched glimmer butterflies. There are a bunch of dies to make a butterfly. You can stitch with them, you can paper piece with them, you can cut a window, you can hot foil. So there is a lot of choices for the wings of the butterfly. All the pieces at the top of the screen are the plates, and all the pieces at the bottom are actually dies. So you can see there's so much variety in this kit and a lot of options for your butterfly wings. There's a full butterfly, there's a half butterfly. It's really cool. And we have some gold foil that comes with it. I'm going to die cut out these 2 wings right here, which create a half butterfly, and this body that goes with it from some pearl cardstock. And you could stitch the edge of these. There's openings there, but I think these are really meant to be decorative. Then I'm going to take these pieces right here. They're going to cut a window into the wing. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's so fun. So there's both of them. And then you can also use these dies right here to die cut a layer that you could layer on top of those wings. I'm going to actually use them to put behind my wings. It's just going to die cut the perfect shape, but I thought you'd also like to see this. So this, you can see, you could use as a layer, and the piece that I used to cut a window, you could cut with this, so you'd have that pretty edge, or you can do it without the window and stitch it. There's also the hot foil plates you could use with these dies and hot foil on top of these. So yeah, you can make probably just like 100 different butterflies with this. So I went ahead and die cut the body and the antenna from some gold mirror cardstock, and then you can see I'm just gluing that gel press pattern paper behind my butterfly. So just like a window with some really cool textured paper behind there, but you could actually leave it as a window, not put anything back there. I just wanted it to be, you know, matchy to my card, but have its own thing. So I didn't want to just leave it open. Next, I am taking the gold hot foil and cutting a strip with my quick trimmer that I can use to hot foil one of the sentiments. And it says, "Celebrate you today." I thought maybe with this thank you card, I could put like a gift card inside to thank somebody for something that they have done that's really nice. You know, I think that's always fun to add a gift card inside. So I am taping that down so that the pretty side of the plate is touching the pretty side of the foil onto the paper, and then that goes face down on my preheated Glimmer Hot Foil system. The whole entire dock is going to come out once the timer has gone off. That's about a minute. Then I know it's heated and ready to go. The pressure and the heat of running it through my die machine is what's going to transfer that image onto my cardstock. So let's remove that and take a look at the finished saying. "Celebrate you today." So shiny, and it's like pressed into the paper versus like embossing is raised up off the paper. So I love hot foiling. I love the glimmer of it. I'm going to trim this down using my quick trimmer. So it's not only for trimming out your hot foil, but also you can trim out sentiment strips, which I use a lot. I use this quick trimmer to do that a lot, and I find it really super helpful. I use a little bit of temporary adhesive on the back of my strip before I put it down so I don't scoot it around. All right, it is time to glue and adhere all the things. Now, I'm putting on a pretty heavy layer of glue because this is going onto a textured surface. Remember, that background has been embossed, so I am using a little bit more glue than I normally would because of that. So I'm gluing down both of my sentiment pieces right here, and then also my little hot foiled piece I'm going to put right under the thank. And so it's kind of a unique arrangement of all these pieces, but I really like it. Next is the butterfly, which I am adding on with some foam squares, but I am putting a little adhesive on as well because the foam squares on the body of that butterfly are so thin. I really wanted to make sure it stuck down really well and didn't come loose, so I doubled up. Next we have the clear stamp of the month and its coordinating die. This is the stitched color wheel set. It has this little piece that you can die cut out and actually put thread on. You have your color wheel you can stamp on. You could just die cut it. You could die cut it with these holes, do some stitching. I just love all the options that Spellbinders gives you with these kits of the month and how you can use them together. So if you're like me and you get more than one kit of the month, you can bring them out and play with everything together. Now, I'm only using one tiny little sentiment from this today to stamp on the back of my card, and it says, "Stitched with love." Isn't that cute? I thought that was fun to put on the back of the card, and then I could sign it. Now it's time to add this to my A7 size card. So I took a piece of cardstock, cut it to 10 by 7, and scored it at 5 inches to get this A7 size card. Now I'm embellishing with some half back kind of pearls. They're called Baubles in this gold color that matches my hot foiling and my gold mirror paper. So good. And I'm going to put 3 over on the side by the butterfly and 3 below my sentiment. I like groupings of 3 on my projects, and like a little triangle shape. It's really eye-pleasing. Next, I have a scrap left over of my gel press print still, so I embossed that and I'm sanding it down, and I'm going to use this as a cute little accent piece for the inside of the card, just carrying that background over from the outside to the inside, and I think it is a nice little touch in there. So that completes today's card, but I kind of put a lot of love into this. We've got the gel press print, the sanding of the embossing, the stitching, hot foiling, the little paper pieced butterfly. I just think it's a really special card, and that's what I want people to feel when they open my cards, right? Now, don't forget to hop along with us. This is a blog hop, so check the description box below for a link to my blog. You can check out all the other designers' cool projects they've made for this hop, and you're going to want to visit the Spellbinders blog. Leave a comment there for your chance to win one of 3 $25 gift certificates to the Spellbinders shop. Such a good deal, and this closes on May 15th, so you only have a few days to get entered, and they'll announce the winner on the 18th on their blog, the Spellbinders blog. I will see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!